I suspect many of you are furious about your tax dollars that have been used to fund fraud, waste, and abuse through bogus businesses and government programs that never should have existed. I am too. And it took a 20-something kid, Nick Shirley, to expose this. I, for one, am not going to sit around waiting for politicians, prosecutors, judges, or federal agencies to suddenly do the right thing. They won't. That means you and I have to do what is right for us. I know this video will get the federal and state tax agencies nervous and agitated, and I'm fine with that. Because if they're worked up, it means we're probably over the target. So if you want to get some payback on this fraud, we are seeing throughout the country and in DC. Keep watching. If you want the full background on this, follow me and you'll find it somewhere. It's a longer video. This is Kelly. I'm a CPA and the CEO at Everyday CPA, a tax, accounting, and business advisory company. We've heard some tough talk these days from President Trump, from Pam Bondi, from Kash Patel, from James Comer. It's kind of like big hat, no cattle a bit. That's what frustrated Elon Musk. It's a lot of talk, not much action. We've seen this tough talk before, and nothing ever seems to happen. So I think we're all a little skeptical. But let's see if these tough guys are afraid of old Tampon Tim. As a CPA and CEO of a tax and accounting firm, I'm not going to sit back and do nothing while millions of taxpayers are getting ripped off by federal, state, and local governments and misled by and lied to by state and local media. And I want to say this clearly because I know many of you are tempted to simply stop paying taxes or underpay as political protests. I'm tempted to do that too. But as a CPA who helps taxpayers deal with unpaid taxes, I prefer reducing the amount that is legally owed as reported on your tax return. There are other methods that can accomplish similar results, but I want to start with one method here and present this as your simplest and easiest one. Your first next step, the primary lever for you, is creating a side gig, the Leering Center side gig. I'll repeat that. The Leering Center side gig, not Learning Center, Leering Center. You don't control politicians. You don't control prosecutors. You don't control editors or newsrooms. What you do control is how much of your money they get from you. The cleanest, simplest, most accessible way to change that is by adopting a legitimate for-profit side gig. Not a hobby, not fake write-offs, not a shell, a real business with a real purpose and a real path to revenue and hopefully profits. Your Leering Center for your state, county, or city. It focuses on investigating and documenting fraud, waste, and abuse, calls out government and media failures, including the next part of this Somali, Minnesota fraud story. This next phase is going to be an interesting one. If it gets picked up by anybody, it should be about the companies that profited from the spending by the fraudsters, the auto dealers, the landlords, the banks, the NGOs, the mosques, the churches. Did they file suspicious activity reports? Did they report income? Were they complicit? Follow the money. You'll be shocked. This is a for-profit business. The Leering Center is a for-profit business. And this is critical. You'll need to have a revenue model if you're going to have a for-profit business. You need to have some way of generating income and hopefully eventually a profit. And here's what you do. You'll generate revenue by selling swag, t-shirts, hoodies, coffee cups, hockey pucks that promote what you are doing and what you are finding. You'll also earn advertising and influencer income since your content will get, or once it gets recognized, and then followed and shared. If you never get to that, no worries. Give it a go. Try to make a profit. If you don't, Tim Walsh's Department of Revenue will get less tax from you because of your operating loss. That gives them less funds to control and mismanage. We came up with some examples of taglines for your swag. Keep in mind, we're a tax and accounting firm, and I'm not an ad man. I'm an accountant. How about these? I stopped waste, fraud, and abuse in Minnesota. Ask me how. Don't tread on my wallet. No taxation without transparency. The Leering Center. Our owner can't spell, but our students can. Tampon Timmy, into the sea like the Boston tea. How about this? Leering Center calendars for, let's say, the Minneapolis images of the 12 best or worst daycare locations. Take pictures of those, send them to print the calendar. The potential is endless. That's the revenue model. The business will have legitimate expenses, many of which you already incur. Phone and internet, mileage and travel, research supplies, office furnishings, computers, mobile devices, content creation costs, digital subscriptions, Zoom, Office 365. Many of you already are paying for these expenses, and because you were only a W-2 employee, you couldn't deduct them. But now that you are a business owner, you can now deduct these businesses, at least the business use portion of these expenses. That's the business model. No unfiled tax returns, no underpaying tax and protest, probably an operating loss in year 1 and year 2, creating a reduction in taxes and a higher refund or less tax due. Hopefully there's operating income in year 3 and onwards. If there's not, that's no big deal. That's the way life is. The best thing about it all is maybe you can affect some real change. Yes, you can continue to do your protest. The Trump is a pedo protest. The no kings, no ICE, no more dead white men to study, no patriarchy. You know, those Saturdays you spend getting honks from half the cars and the middle finger from the other half, that stuff still gets you up in the morning. Great. Go with God there. At least it gets you up in the morning. But sadly, it doesn't pay your bills. Or maybe it does. Not really sure if those protesters get paid to do that. If you do get paid to do it, great. You need to report it on your taxes, and maybe that's your side gig. If it is, good for you. This is a judgment-free zone, kind of. But if you want to try to stop waste, fraud, and abuse in local, state, and federal government and try to get more honest media, then this type of gig would get you up in the morning, out of the basement, yours or your mom's, and try to do some real good in the community and save a boatload of taxes. It's time to play hardball with these guys, with these tax agencies. Time to keep more of what you earn. There are some other ways to recover prior year tax overpayments, and these tax savings refunds can be significant. This is about using the tax code the way it was written, the way the wealthy already do, and creating real change in your community. To help you, we offer weekly open office Zoom sessions, no charge. Every Wednesday evening from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time, we host a free open office Zoom. We'll help you set this up correctly. You're going to have to do the heavy lifting. We'll just guide you. You got to do the work. We'll give you some additional strategies to reduce property taxes, excise taxes, state income taxes, and federal income taxes. You know, all in, your taxes consume over 50% of your lifetime income, and closer to 60% in states like Minnesota, California, New York, and New Jersey. Got to include sales tax in that too. Of course, you're angry, but let's do something smart. The only time we charge you is if you want us to file your tax return. We'll be happy to do that for you, and we'll even represent you if you're audited for this side gig. But we'll even show you how you can file the tax return yourself for under $20. So I'm not really doing this to get more tax returns. Go for it. You can do it yourself. We'll show you how to do it. Why does this matter? Anger without a strategy changes nothing. It actually eats at your soul. So it changes your soul, I think. Our goal is to empower you to use the power of your tax dollars to remove these people by reducing the amount they receive from you. Not by breaking the law, by learning the rules, by staying compliant, by taking control. I'm Kelly, your everyday CPA. Hard truths, better decisions, happier life.